This is Task for the Weekend, October 30th, 2021. This is part 2 of last week's discussion on what should you do if you have a fill in the blank. And last week we talked about an Apple Mac, and this week we're talking about Chromebook and what security features and steps you should do to make it more secure. Now, just because you have a Chromebook doesn't mean that once again you can rest on your laurels and you're absolutely positively safe. There's some key steps you should do to make it more secure. So first off, as always, be a wise clicker. Always make sure that you be a little paranoid regarding clicking on links and clicking on locations that you've never been before. Always be a little bit tentative regarding clicking on things. So always look, hover over URLs, make sure they look reasonable, and take time when you click. Then I want you to make sure that you choose what's called the Enhanced Protection option, and I'll demonstrate that. And I'm remoting into my Chromebook, so hopefully the keystrokes will come across okay. And you want to come up here to the 3 dots and go over to Privacy and Security, and then you want to go into Browsing. And you want to scroll down to where it says, and make sure you're in Enhanced Protection mode, not in Standard. So you want to do Enhanced Protection. Whoops. See, I'm going over remote connection, so it's a little bit funkier. So again, you want to make sure you're in Enhanced Protection and that's turned on. Next, and this one sounds a bit odd, especially coming from the Windows world or especially the Linux world where you want to stay up all the time and not reboot quite a bit. In Chromebook, you actually want to reboot often because that forces the install of an update. So if you happen to hear in the news that Chromebook has a 0 day or Chrome has a 0 day, you want to make sure that at the end of the day that you reboot your computer. All you have to do is reboot your computer because it will automatically push down updates. But one of the things it does is it will wait until you're not using the machine. So if you want to make sure that you force those updates, you want to reboot the computer. Next, you want to do something called syncing passwords. You want to click on the Chrome settings menu, click on You and Google option at the top of the screen, and you'll need to be logged into a Google account for this. And you want to choose some encryption options when you sync. So I'll demonstrate. So we've come into the settings menu and we've gone to You and Google. And then you want to come down to where it says Sync and Google Services. And as soon as I can find my mouse, there we go. You want to click on this Sync and Google Services. And you want to make sure that encrypt synced passwords with your Google account. You want to make sure that that's set up and chosen to make sure that if you do save any passwords on your system, that they're encrypted, and make sure they're secure on your system. Next, we're going to disable some Privacy Sandbox trials. And you want to visit Chrome settings again, go into Privacy and Security, click the link to Privacy Sandbox, and you want to flip a switch to disable those sandbox trials. So again, here we are underneath Privacy and Security, and we want to click on Privacy Sandbox, and we want to disable those trials. And scroll down a bit and make sure that what's FLOC is also disabled as well. Again, if you have turned off trial, it will turn this off as well. Next, you want to go into the Privacy and Security section and look for Use Secure DNS. So in Privacy and Security, go into Security, go down to the bottom in the Advanced section. Whoops, went a little bit too far. And again, you want to make sure Use Secure DNS is enabled. And last but not least, and this goes true for any browser you have on any machine you have, whether it's Chromebook, Windows, or a Mac, you want to review extensions installed in your browser. And if you don't recognize any extension, you want to remove it. It's always better to pull something out and go, oh yeah, that's why I installed it, rather than have it in there and be unsure of where it came from. Always in the upper corner, look for that extension, look to see what's installed, look to see if you recognize everything. Now this is a demo machine, so I've got some extensions that you probably don't have, but always make sure that you review these and that you understand and know what they are. And if you didn't install it, then be very concerned. If you didn't install something, it could be a sign that your system needs to be restored or reset. And this is true even for Chromebooks. So always make sure that you understand the extensions that you have on your system and be prepared to reinstall or reset your desktop depending on what you're trying to protect. Have a great week and have a great Halloween tomorrow. The newsletter comes out tomorrow. And remember, we're on DEFCON 3. That means that be careful, install those updates on your Windows machine, but immediately test and make sure that you can that you can print to whatever printers you have attached. If you cannot print, I'll urge you to install the optional preview update for Windows 10 or Windows 11 if you happen to be on that platform. But bottom line, check and make sure that you can print immediately after installing updates. Until next time, this is Susan Brown.